Morning and welcome to another RCA Industry IQ. I am Matt Stavish, joined by my colleague Katie Billick. This morning, we're joined by Andy McEnroe at Raymond James Investment Bank in the ADG markets. Andy, thank you for joining us. Tell us why we need to get smart on your industry IQ.
Matt, Katie, thank you both for having me today. Pleasure to be with you. Raymond James is the leading investment bank in the defense and government space, servicing companies that are supporting federal government contractors that provide technology and services solutions across the domain. Our team has been together for 10 plus years, consummating some of the leading transactions in this space. And I think we bring a unique industry insight, particularly when there's high technology at play that is supporting mission critical customers.
Well, Andy, you guys have we've certainly seen the deal, templates go around of all the deals that you guys have been involved with. Has the COVID protocol sped up or slowed down deal closing times, and now that everyone's used to remote work, or has it been a great boon because you don't have to travel someplace to meet the prospective buyer or seller?
You're spot on, Matt, that the market is very active currently. Both buyers and sellers have found ways to utilize to make the deal process more efficient. As an example, sellers can conduct early look meetings or fireside chats via video conference in addition to in-person meetings. This provides firms, both buyers and sellers, with the opportunity to shape their story. So for a seller, they're able to reach the key decision makers in a timely fashion. That being said, as you know, buyers find ways to meet with sellers via in-person or hybrid management meetings, dinners, facility tours, or other meetings to ensure it's the right transaction. And it's ultimately important that a buyer and a seller can get together and make sure it works and meet in person, because these are large enterprise value transactions, life-changing events for entrepreneur sellers, key return events for private equity sellers, and that personal interaction is equally as important as being efficient and utilizing technology.
Andy, are there any industry verticals or capabilities that are more attractive than others? Machine learning, additive manufacturing, autonomous systems, AI. Tell us what's hot right now.
Yeah, from our purview, the government contracting M&A market is being driven by several key factors. Really, it boils down to the threats that we're facing globally: the rise of peer and near-peer nation-state threats, the evolution of space and cyber as the next domains of warfare, and the need to utilize technology to either enhance legacy systems or increase efficiency in the processing of the massive amounts of data being created globally from cell phones and satellites and the like. Verticals that are of particular interest currently include unmanned systems, artificial intelligence, machine learning capabilities, both on the data pack and algorithm side, next generation R&D contracts to make that technology that solves that next problem, capabilities and tools that are targeting cyber or electronic warfare from either a hardware perspective, a waveform perspective, or even a services perspective. And of course, you've seen a number of transactions in the space and satellite arena, the hypersonic arena, and tactical technology. Ultimately, though, while those are the, call it the swim lanes that are in vogue, the valuation of any singular transaction is impacted by what the firm is doing, who they're doing it for, and the underlying company fundamentals, including revenue and profitability growth rates year over year, and the qualitative factors such as the credentials and clearances of a company's employee base. So those are the factors that are driving the market, and certainly that's where you've seen a lot of transaction activity as of late.
Andy, you guys, the process to sell a company is a process that's many years and takes many years of planning. And a lot of those foundational steps get set up when the company is just being formed in those first basic years when they start establishing those customer sets. At RCA, we run into a lot of those firms in those early stages. What advice would you give to the entrepreneur that's looking to have an exit, maybe by a PEG or a strategic, to lay the found work? Is it diving into a customer set? Is it how they build their business? What advice would you give? Because that tacking thing, if you tack 1 degree, 10 years, it's going to make this massive change. What advice would you give based upon the companies you see and the success that they've had in selling their business?
Well, Matt, I think the first point you made in asking the question is spot on. This is a long-term plan, and starting out with a plan and a strategy that focuses on how your firm makes a difference for your customers is paramount to having a successful exit when the time is right. timing the market or trying to figure out what customer or vertical may be in vogue at the time of a sale, in my opinion, is just not a winning proposition. There are certainly areas, as I outlined in the last question, that are in vogue currently tied to national security technology. I think there are a number of those swim lanes that will endure over the next several years. But being focused on providing excellence to a customer, a differentiated solution that separates you from competition, is the best path to create enterprise value. Certainly building a team of advisors, both on the legal front and the investment banking front, hopefully you'll want to work with Raymond James, is essential to driving to a successful transaction. For many entrepreneurs, for many folks going through a transaction, it's a one and done type ordeal. These advisors have a multitude of experiences, hundreds of transactions under their belt, and they can help guide you to a successful outcome that maximizes price, terms and conditions, cultural fit, and anything else that you may be looking to seek in a transaction or a capital raise.
Thank you. Those are some great pieces of advice and a great market overview. And that wraps it up for this Industry IQ with Republic Capital Access. We were joined this morning by Andy McEnroe with Raymond James on the banks of the Potomac River. I am Matt Stavish, joined by my colleague Katie Billick from RCA. Another Industry IQ in the books.